Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast, a brand new episode this week. Where last week it was announced that Michael Beale is going to be the new manager. We kind of gave it some time to sort of let our thoughts about it marinate, if you say. He gave his interviews, obviously, to the press. Rangers TV, coaching staff's announced. Got to see a bit of the training videos and that, and all of that's came out after the appointment. And for what I've got to say so far, it looks good. Everything that Michael Beale said, I'm on board with. Not so much Ross Wilson because he's just repeating the same stuff that he said about Gio, but I think Michael Beale so far has handled himself really well in this role because it's huge when you think about it. The step up he's got for being like third coach, first team coach. Obviously, Gary McAllister was ahead of him when he was here the last time, and for him to be back now as the main guy at Rangers, it's going to be a huge task for him. But looks like one of the tasks he's wanted, he's craved, and he's ready for now. So, what's your initial thoughts? Obviously, we spoke when Gio gets sacked about maybe a list of options that we would like. Michael Beale, when we spoke about him then, was kind of like, right, I don't want to be going back to someone who was already here, knows this group of players. Is that still the same thoughts for you?
I mean, you look at his eyes, mate. You look at that smile. You can't help but get a wee bit excited. I'm overall, I'm all right with the appointment. As I say, I'll fully back the new manager until, do you know what I mean? Until whenever we all feel like maybe it's not the best. But right now, I'm backing Michael Beale, and I'm wanting him to be successful. As you say, I like a lot of what he's talking about. But yet again, for me, it comes down to the man who keeps repeating himself and probably doesn't know what he's talking about, Ross Wilson, and the board, and if they're willing to fully back um, Michael Beale here. Do you know what I mean? That's as simple as that for me. As you say, he made a lot of promises to Gio and what have you, and none of them were delivered. So I hope Michael gets the batting. The thing that I like about him is he's going to come in and he seems like he's going to clear house. If they're not all on board, I like that, well, listen, you're going to get stepped aside. And I do expect the likes of Ryan Kent to step up a bit more. It'll be interesting to see what players like Tillman are going to be like under Michael Beale. I think he's somebody who can really get the full potential out of him. Even somebody like maybe Sands. I
Uh,
know I'm a big fan of him, but you never know what Michael Beale. Yeah, they might turn him into a decent player yet again.
I'm
You never.
just excited to see all these players that you're listing off as obviously they're Gio's signings that he brought them in. That's who worked with him. I'm just excited to see what Michael Beale can do with these players. Obviously, we've seen him work with Morelos and Kent and a lot of the squad that's obviously still there.
Yeah.
But obviously, the new additions, maybe the ones that haven't quite worked out so far, i.e., Ridvan Yilmaz, who we've seen sort of brief cameos for. Rabbi Matondo is a guy I've still got in my mind. I'm thinking, right, Michael Beale, he done
Well, see,
really well with Ryan Kent on the left hand side. Can he turn Rabbi Matondo into something similar? So
about Matondo there. I know your boy Diablo is doing the business with Sunderland, isn't
yes, it's
he?
not that I
Aye.
sat here all the time and backed the guy and said that's what he was going to do, but
Aye. Aye.
I know I'm just excited to see what Michael Beale's got up his sleeve because obviously we've been really poor this season in terms of every aspect of the game, in terms of physicality, fitness, attacking threat, and I think Michael Beale's going to bring those standards back for me. Looking at him, he says, "Look, we're going to take the handbrake off, and we're going to go for it." I liked when he said that because it's exactly what we need to do. We don't need to be playing Lundstrom in another centre defensive midfielder at home to St Johnson. We need to be playing
No.
Lundstrom in
Slot
his
attack
role
football,
in
man.
playing Lawrence when he's back, Hadji, Lowry, like Tillman, all these attacking players in that role rather than sort of negative football. And it's going to be the big question: is he going to fancy Cholak over Morelos? Obviously, he's worked with Morelos before. Knows he said troubles with him, but
Aye.
he put Michael Beale and Gerard out of a hole multiple times, and they obviously were desperate to keep him here. Does he start him or does he start Cholak? I mean, Cholak started near enough the full season. That'll be an interesting one for me, definitely. He's going to keep Tavernier as a captain, but I've seen a lot of shouts on Twitter, maybe being like, "Look, if this is going to be a new generation at the club, should we maybe be looking at another captain?" It was something that I was maybe looked at. I think Tavernier's fine as a captain personally, but I think that's maybe the least of the
The
issues.
captain and
But
the captain and the vice captain for me are fine. As I say, I think Connor Goldson out the two of them that is the vocal leader. We know that for being there at the games, and you hear Connor Goldson for the full 90 telling them. Tavernier, as I say, he's one that just leads by example. He just does the right stuff, and he maybe no getting Chinese through the week is a no, but no, he does the right stuff, and he leads in that kind of way. But for me, it's interesting to see maybe players like Alex Lowry, Loveless. It'd be nice to see these kind of guys. I hope McCann gets a chance. I really hope he gives Charlie McCann a chance. He's got to, with the dinosaurs we've got in the middle of the park, he's got to look at a young person like
Nah, he
that.
has to.
He has to fire him in there. As he said, I liked what he said that as well when he took on about taking the handbrake off. We've got to go for it. But let's also remember he's going to be working with God, which is Scott Wright. I'm just saying.
So anything's
Aye.
possible with Scott, right? But no, just in terms of everybody, I think all the players should be excited. I think it's pretty clear that they didn't buy into Gio's ideas on the pitch, which is unfortunate because I really like Gio as we've put on record, but
We did.
it's the failings of the board for me again that I kind of
Absolutely.
always keep looking at. I mean, just that Ross Wilson interview when he was sat right next to Michael Beale on his first press conference as the boss, just looking back, and he said the exact same words about Gio. And fair enough, we spent 15 million in the summer. That money could have been spent far better when you kind of look at who's going to where around about you. We missed out on a lot of deals, I feel. But regardless, these players are here now. They're Michael Beale's players. Now he is a guy that I really trust to maybe get the best out of a lot of this squad that's kind of
Another
going to
player he
be going
mentioned at
down the
all
gutter.
that I noticed he mentioned quite a lot was Keem Arif as well. I liked that he kept.
Aye.
He's got Keem in his mind as well. He noticed that he was a top goal scorer and what have you. So obviously we both know for Keem it's just about staying fit because he's a fantastic player when he plays. I won't have anybody disrespect my boy when he plays. He's fantastic. But I just thought that was interesting that he was constantly saying his name as well, which
Aye.
maybe tells you he was one that was really a big fan of Keem Arif.
Aye, definitely. I do sort of lock onto what he said as well. We Roof, and that was music to my ears because obviously both big fans. Roof just desperate to see the guy fit. It's one of those things now when you're like you backed him for that long and you see the criticisms about his fitness and you're like I don't want to criticise a guy because I
Aye.
know how good he can be. But the reality is we need to get him fit, we need to get Lawrence fit. Goldson's
Haji.
obviously going to be huge. Haji looks to be on the comeback. Yilmaz will be hopefully with the way Michael Beale likes to play his fullbacks sort of high. I think it could play into Yilmaz perfectly, to be honest with you. And then whoever else in the squad, Ben Davies, we kind of touched on, was kind of looking to be a guy who's going to get the best out of.
Think we make any signings in January then?
We'll have to. We'll absolutely have to make signings, like
Got to,
regardless of who's coming back. Aye.
I'm telling you, there's got the first thing that he has to do is go and get a goalkeeper for me. That's the first thing he has to do is go and get a goalkeeper. John McLaughlin, a decent number two. McGregor.
I think I'd get rid of obviously the two of them.
Aye, but as I
But
say, mate, he obviously can't do that just in the one January window. You obviously know the two of them will probably be there until the end of the season, but
I think it'll be summer for a new goal. To be personally honest with you, I
maybe
think it's definitely something we should look at. But
see if it's one you be getting a pre-contact, but I know there's obviously other areas, but for me, that's you got to have your goalkeeper sorted out first. That's the number one position for me that
well,
Michael's got to come in and sort.
when you look at it's not obviously a similar rebuild because Michael Beale is literally he's got a great group of players. We know we've got a good squad. It's just they've been utilised terribly under the past management team. And obviously, Steven Gerrard came in, he inherited an absolute mess. And he started for the back and worked his way forward. He got McGregor, he got Goldson, and then he sort of moved forward with his team. He got players that he knew he could rely on. I think Michael Beale might take that into what he's going to do. Because obviously you look at the two of them now. Obviously Arfield was a signing still here. Ryan Kent they brought in on loan. They got players all about the field. They knew were good quality players. They knew would obviously rebuild us back to the top. And I think Michael Beale might use a similar approach. You just hope he's backed right in the.
That's what I say. It all comes
January.
down to that. But one thing I liked when he did the interview with Sky Sports when he talked about he wasn't really friends with the players, and I like that. I like that he's telling you I'm not really friends, pally wally with any of these guys is the way maybe we think. I hope he does go in and he tells him, like, listen, I don't care if we've worked together before. Maybe Morelos, get your attitude right, get your fitness levels right, because on these days we say the amount of times Morelos probably dug. Well, he dug Gerrard out of a hole. The amount of times he's just been
Mhm.
sensational for us. The quality's there, as I say. They just need the right attitude, the right mindset to get themselves back. But honestly, I hope he makes maybe 2 or 3 signs in January at least for me.
Nah, I think we're going to need definitely by even the players that are going to come back. We need midfielders
Aye.
like desperately. You don't know what's going to happen in the centre half positions either. Like he would ideally maybe need to get another one in there. It might be a season long loan to the end of the season. I'm not against that, to be honest with you. See if it's the right player, and
Yeah.
he's going to fill a gap for us and do a job for up until
Well, I
the
mean, he can use his connections and
summer.
bring Harvey Elliott to the club for a couple of
Nah,
months
no
or
way,
whatever.
no way. I mean,
Aye.
we could maybe go and get somebody like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or something. You maybe, obviously, he's
Aye.
injury prone as well, so you would maybe like to steer away for that. But
Mm.
maybe someone of that sort of caliber that could come in at the
Man's
end of the
got
season,
connections. He's
play
got that big
games.
phone book. He'll be using that 100%. He'll use his connections to get players. But I hope he does. It's the same as you were saying as well, mate. I hope he does. Let players like Stephen Davis and Arfield and that know. Listen, it's probably time. I know experience levels in that, but still at the same time,
But
I can't
that's the
be
thing.
doing.
You've obviously got the experienced heads that have been there, but you've got experienced heads that are now going to be there, and Lundstrom and Goldson, Tavernier, Barisic, all these players that have been here, Kent, Morelos, they're the experienced heads that can,
Aye.
when the new players come in, they can obviously take them forward. I just see no need for all of these players anymore, and it'll be the end for a lot, I would imagine. I know he said in his interviews, similar to what Gio said, is the squad's good and all that, which in this term I do actually agree with Michael Beale because the squad is good. Like
No,
we've
it's
got a
good up.
good squad of players. We've been hampered
Mm.
with injuries, but I'm looking forward to see when he puts his own stamp on it what's going to happen because we need to be playing attractive football. And we need to be doing that in the 15th against Hibs because that's also going to be a very very tough game at Ibrox. So we'll get
Mm.
our first sort of taste of it
A
against
tough
Bayer
run of fixtures for
Leverkusen.
him.
But that's it. I was going to
Tough run
say,
of fixtures for him. He's got, you know what I mean, Hibs. You've got Aberdeen away in it, and then it's Ross County away, Motherwell at home,
you've
and
got
then
the
you'll
cup game as
Cup.
well at
Aye.
Hampden, Aberdeen. So, we need to get if we get maximum points and get ourselves to a final there. I mean, that's a really really good start.
Aye.
Obviously, the new manager bounce has always been it's a big
That's
thing. The
fine.
players need a
That's fine.
lift. They need to also give themselves a lift. It can't
I'm
just
just
be Michael Beale coming in here and that be that. Like the players need to look at themselves as well. I think.
absolutely. They all need to look at themselves in the mirror, and I honestly expect Ryan Kent to perform now. There's no hiding now. You know what I mean? He maybe then obviously wasn't. He was still good, but he wasn't as good as we all know he can be. But I expect Michael Beale to get the very best out of Ryan Kent. That's a player that I really do feel, as he said, he's known him since what he was 14 or something. I remember him saying. So
Mm-hmm.
I expect Ryan Kent to turn the levels up now in these next couple of games.
It's going to be exciting. It's always nice when you obviously you've got a new manager coming in. You know you're going to be on the front foot that he wants to be and hopefully dominating games. And you just sort of obviously we picked out things about Gio that either we liked or we didn't like, and it's going to be nice to see how Michael Beale makes this transition
It's good that he
Rangers
touched on
manager.
the cup run as well, and it was good that he acknowledged that. Look, listen, the runs in the cup haven't been brilliant. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Obviously, he was here when they weren't brilliant, and obviously watching for a far, but obviously Gio winning the Scottish Cup. But it's nice that he's touching on that as well and saying, listen, look, we need to improve not only league wise but also cup form as well. So I'm just hoping we can, as you say, all round we level up now. It's, as I say, yet again, it comes down to the board. And obviously, you sent me today. A lot of people don't want Douglas Park. They voted against him or what have you. And
No, well,
the
that's tomorrow. The AGM is tomorrow, so we're
uh,
going to hear a lot of things. I would imagine about what's going on. I hope the hard hitting questions are asked as well by the
MD's going egg
shareholders.
them. Take some eggs with you and skelp them with eggs. Pelt them with
I'd take more than eggs if I could, to be honest with you. But
Aye.
I
What was saying
hope they
Giovanni
ask
runs
the
in
right
with a brick.
questions. I mean, yeah, I
Back
mean,
over us.
at that it's going to hopefully reveal a lot of what we see going on. I hope they don't bullshit us, which I mean they probably will, but
They will. They will.
um, we need
Get
answers
these
for what's
Americans
been
in
going
the
on.
door. Get these Americans in the door.
Definitely, it looks hopefully maybe in the summer we're going to be getting a new direction as a club, and hopefully that can take us on to bigger and better things. But Michael Beale is the Rangers manager. There's not much else we can really say apart from
Okay. Brazil
waiting
are up to
for
now.
Brazil are 2-0 up. So heartbreak for
On the
Korea so
Argentina.
far.
On the
Uh,
Argentina.
but I looking forward to seeing what's to come. I was kind of never wanting this World Cup to end, but looking forward to the game against Hibs now.
I want to watch my team now.
Yeah, and hopefully we can.
That's no lie. Some of these games have been dug, man. Some of these World Cup
Yeah,
games
there
have
has
been.
been poor games.
There's been some good, shocking games and what have you, but most of these games have been, I think, really underwhelming. I think France always are a good side. I think France are just. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch France, really. I'd rather watch Hearts getting a scrap than watch
Yeah,
France play, to be fair.
yeah, it's nearly done, I guess. What's the date today? 10 days until we play Hibs, so it's on the horizon, which is good. So, hopefully we'll get more inkling tomorrow about what's happening with the actual inner workings of the club, and we'll obviously need to touch on that next week because we'll have the Bayer Leverkusen friendly to then cover. That'll be our first sort of taster of what's to come if we've improved any.
Real ball.
And we'll see what Bilbao's got to offer. But if you did enjoy, like, subscribe, share for us. Let us know your thoughts on Michael Beale.
Thoughts on Michael Beale's manager.
Because I know it's divided opinion a lot. Like, that's why I kind of wanted to wait for a week on this one because
no, we were right to wait. As I say, we could have rushed straight into it just for, do you know what I mean? Just rushing into its sake. But I think it's important that we do hear everything that's said and we do cover. Do you know what I mean? Overall, get our thoughts out there really when you digest what everything has been said. Like,
aye. So next week we'll be back covering the friendly, seeing what we saw. Hopefully good things, and then that'll be the preview then on to the Hibs game. So we'll see you then. Cheers.
Yeah.